Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. I'm your host, Carlos Fade. This is episode 2. We're on the Fort Joy Beach. So the first order of business, as far as I'm concerned, is to get my party put together. There's a little girl here, Tam, that you can speak to. To the best of my knowledge, nothing significant comes out of that conversation. Crafting in this game is not quite as important as it was in the first game. Tomato sauce. That's interesting. So right here on the beach are some Voidwoken. And it's also where the mod puts the respec mirror for Act 1. I'm not even going to fight those guys yet. Certainly it's not that difficult of a fight to win, but
Look here, Quercus. Another giant. My word, this blasted isle is teeming with them.
I'd prefer to get my party put together before I gotta do any fighting, and I also love the fact that there's Sir Loria.
Was that? Yes, I did see how it managed to survive an attack by the great Acorn's servants. Impressive, just as you say. But that is no reason to trust it. Giants like that destroyed our forests. They are the very reason the great Acorn is returning in all its wrath. What? Dear me, have you taken leave of all 6 of your senses? You would have me use this giant for a shield? Why would I... Oh, but I see. You are a cunning devil, Quercus. Of course, if it escaped the great Acorn's vile servants, it can do so again. We need only follow in its big, wide shadow and be safe.
Laugh and tell him he's quite welcome to follow in your shadow.
Egad! It speaks our tongue, Quercus! Hush before! What do you mean a good time for introductions? You know full well who I am, you silly old cat. The great Salora, grandest of the... Oh, introduce myself to the giant! I shall do no such thing. You give away your trust too easily, my dear steed. No, we will have the giant march. In time, we'll see whether it deserves our confidence. Now, onwards! Shield! Venture forth, post-haste. The great Acorn waits for no one.
I love Sir Loria. I especially love Quercus. That is the best name ever. Crafting books, you can always tell what they look like. Good idea to just read them, get any crafting stuff out of them, and then add them to your wares. So you can sell them later. Down here on this side of the beach. Oh, and I have the camera is rotating, which I am not a fan of. Fortunately, you can go into options, go into gameplay, and you can say somewhere down here, rotating minimap. No. There we go. Over here, and we will introduce ourselves to the first team member I'm going to recruit, the Red Prince.
You spot a strange lizard, gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
Greet him heartily, and say you're glad to see he survived the shipwreck.
The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, 2 smoldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Tell him you were glad to be of help. Doesn't do to stand idly by when people are in danger.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Now then, if there's nothing further...
Wonder what he plans to do next.
If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean?
Say that, as of last night, You see a kraken-infested wasteland you never want to go near again.
Touché.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost.
Tell him that's a rather specific vision he has there. Why an empire?
Of course it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am?
Outlaw. Someone who had an empire to lose? Tell him you don't run with that kind of crowd. No. I'm going to choose not enthusiastically. Of course you do. You recall now that he's that famous king?
Oh, may the seven have mercy on their own creation. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have.
Invite him to travel with you. Maybe you can even help him win his throne back.
Truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship, after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company.
I promise.
Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
I need a mage. Arcane arts.
Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master.
Elemental powerhouse. A wizard. I need a fire mage.
Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off.
Perfect. So here's the Red Prince. Wonderfully, if you pick mage, he starts out with all the stuff that I want him to have at the beginning. He gets all the fire stuff, which is fabulous. His Dragon's Blaze is a nice little personal ability of his, and he gets his first source, his innate source ability is Demonic Stare. Gets better as time goes on. So there we have it. He's a really great companion to turn into a Pyro Mage. And that's how I will use him. So now we gotta go get the second member of our team, who is easy to find and recruit before we even have to begin
A black
dealing
cat.
with
Maybe my luck is about to change.
Fort Joy proper, yeah. And so we get the black cat early.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me.
Ask the cat if it's feeling okay.
Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine. I'm not sure. It's all a little foggy.
Wonder where he came from.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus, and with a jerk he turns away from you.
So the cat, if you can keep him alive, is a nice little bonus later on in the game. So that's what we'll do. Just try to keep him alive. Alright, let's go get our man. The third member of our team, the second one we're recruiting. This guy over here. Fane. Staring over this corpse.
You walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be carved into intricate patterns, with a gemstone sitting in the middle of his forehead. Approaching, you hear a profane rumble from the undead beast.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh.
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor?
Curiously, ask him what he's doing.
Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Actually, you don't seem half as threatening as those creatures in red. Run along, won't you? I have business to attend to.
Ask what his business is with that body.
Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for some rotting corpse? A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Ask why he needs to make a mask.
Because my own was stolen from me. And the idea of being chased across Rivellon by every idiot with a torch does not appeal. Oh, get away! Monster! Hide the children! Oh. You are simple beasts. And you simply do not like my... Well, not my kind, but those that look like me. So, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features.
Look at him curiously. What does he mean, not his kind?
Simply put, I am an Eternal, and you are not. You have my sympathies. Indeed, no one seems to have the good taste to be. My people are rather absent, at least from this realm. As for the others, well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers.
An Eternal? What is that, some sort of cult?
A cult? Hardly. We were a race that existed before the idea of race was needed. We were all one. I could ask you to imagine an Eternal as a creature of incredible intelligence and skill. But I fear the limits of your imagination would not do us justice. We studied the mysteries of the universe. We created works of great art. We disappeared, but I will find them. Wherever they are, I will find them. We will have our world again.
It sounds like he needs a companion. Ask if he'd like to travel with you.
I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful.
Nod. It could work out well for both of you.
Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in, well, all things. Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality. But being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours?
Fane is going to be an assassin for me. So he's going to be dexterous arts.
Ah, you seek a more subtle approach. How surprisingly civilized. Very well. What do you require?
let me check on something real quick here. Because I can't remember if it's better to take him as... there's a couple different choices there. What are the choices he's given me here? Shadow Blade or Rogue? What's the real difference between those? Let's find out. I'm gonna look. Because I want to see what they start out with. So a standard Rogue starts out with a throwing knife, backlash, and adrenaline. And the Shadow Blade starts out with chameleon cloak, backlash, and chicken's claw because they spend some points in polymorph. So they get polymorph, scoundrel, thievery, 2 points in finesse, 2 points in wits. The Rogue starts out with 2 points in finesse, constitution, scoundrel, sneaking, and dual wielding. Oh no, I'm going to choose the Shadow Blade. That's better. Alright, let's pick the Shadow Blade.
I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? There is rather a lot to see.
Yep.
Splendid. Very well. Let's be off.
Alright, so we got Fane in our part. I'm going to filter this down. Let's see what's get. Physical armor. Just going to equip that. He's got a knife on a stick and a dagger. One-handed sword or a dagger. He just needs the dagger. I need... Oh yeah, I want the one-handed sword. He's going to grab the pocket knife. He's going to dual wield these things. And he has a wand. So right now I'm just going to give him 2 wands. Oh no, they're both poison? Okay, doesn't matter. Alright, that's good. Fane might be better off using a crossbow for right now, but let's take a look. And he's got gorilla. So already I'm gonna want to go respec him. Yeah, and same thing with his. His is far out man, which is not what I want to start with. So we're gonna want to respec these guys. So let's do that. Let's go do the first little bit of respecking. Because this stuff just isn't perfect when you start out, and it kind of sucks to have to wait all the way till level 8 and you get into Act 2.
What's this? I found something.
This is a great reason to have Red Prince in your party because he can dig without a shovel.
One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward.
Alright, leather armor, that's nice. I'm gonna equip that. Red can then equip this shirt. And there's a bow and arrow. Give that to Fane. Like I said, it might do him actually early in the game here. It might be better off for him to have that. The only other thing he really has is backlash, so. We're gonna head back over here and take on those Voidwoken that were near the mirror at the very beginning. There they are. So characters will walk over. So that's what I'm going to do. As far as Red Prince, what he does is I poke most of his points. I have all my builds planned out ahead of time for these guys, and that's the benefit of playing the game a couple times. The first time you're going to be really lost, but with Red Prince, he's going to be a Pyro Mage. He's going to max Pyro. He's going to put 5 in Polymorph.
Voidwoken.
And then he's going to put a
Those
couple
are the
points in
same
Warfare,
beasts that
Scoundrel, and
Psycho
Geo.
Damn.
And with Fane is going to put points in mostly Scoundrel. He's going to max Warfare for max damage. He's going to put a couple points in Huntsman, Polymorph, and Necromancer to help him heal himself. So let's get rolling so we can get over to this mirror. Fane. Oh, he's got Chicken Claw to start out. That's so cool. Anyways, I'm just going to have him shoot. Shoot one of each. Oh. And let's see. I'm gonna have him stabby. I think I can kill him. But what I'm gonna do is just knock him down first. kill him next turn after this thing moves over here. Oh, he went around. Turkey. Alright. Red can probably wipe him out in one shot. The problem is he going to burn anybody else doing it. Oh, fun. Let's see, that's a point. Just does some more damage. This thing's already burning. And then Fane can probably finish him off.
Meet your maker.
There we go, that was easy. Yellow arrows mean it's conversation time.
Stare at the slain beasts and comment that they must have been the cause of the shipwreck.
They're just animals. Easy enough to euthanize.
They didn't put up much of a fight. Dry land mustn't suit them.
I never feel good after having slain a beast, even a bloodthirsty one.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with a cute...
What's going on?
Oh, I didn't mean to press on the cat. I wanted to loot the vicious voidling and see if I had anything. So I'm gonna go over here. Magister
The face is
Galen.
familiar. What's left of it? He was aboard the ship.
And then we're gonna do a little bit of this. So here's the respec mirror from the mod, which is so great because you can go in here and then you can change things. If I don't want to put any points into wits, for instance, I don't have to. It helps with his critical chance, but I'm actually going to take that out of wits for right now. Finesse, I get 5% more damage. Critical chance early in the game isn't important, and when he's using daggers, he's going to be behind people, and his critical chance will be topped out anyways. Thievery is what I wanted to make sure he had. That's what he's good at, and they put a point in polymorph so he can get chicken claw, so I'm totally okay with that. No other points in anything else, but the talent is what I wanted to fix. I don't want gorilla. Well, sneaking, gorilla increases attack damage by 40%. I don't use sneaking at all, and in fact, what I like having for these guys who can move around a lot is the pawn is great for him. He gets a free turn of movement, so we'll do that. And then with Red Prince, I want to make sure all his stuff is kosher. Attribute wise, he's got point in Constitution, which I don't want. I'm going to eventually put points in memory, so for right now he's going to put most of his points in intelligence and a few points in memory, and everything else will be left alone. For abilities, Pyro, Geo, that's fine, but I would really prefer that he have a point in Warfare, but right now I'm not going to change that, so that's fine. Leave that. No points in anything else, that's good. Lore Master is not what I want to give him. He already has a point in Persuasion from Spellsong, so he's going to be our persuasive person. And then for talents, I don't care about Far Out Man. What I really want early on is either Elemental Affinity or, what's he got? Executioner. Requires Warfare 1. Oh, so I can't do Executioner yet. So I'm going to do Elemental Affinity now, because we're going to use that the whole game. And those are my guys. Alright. So it's time to make our entrance. Over here to the fort. It is not so joyous. Trice. There, we could talk to her. But right now I just want to get up here to this part.
I know nothing of any Verdus.
Alexander.
We already
Wait.
Magister. Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Shout that whether she's telling truth or lies, you won't find out by mutilating her.
Stay silent, you!
Bishop Alexander looks up at the sound of your voice, curiosity on his face. Recognition seems to flicker in his eyes for a moment, but then he shakes his head and looks back towards the suffering Atusa. Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Don't you hear?
Take your pet with you, you slimy woman.
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
These magisters are almost vicious enough to join the lone wolves.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
These creatures are so prone to violence. Naturally, the weaker specimens suffer.
And here we go. Get some stuff. We get these nice leg. Later on, when we get the mask for Fane, we'll turn him into an elf and he can use that. Everybody gets a level, but we're not done recruiting players yet. We need to get our last one over here, lohse, and we need to take care of
I
these
need
ones.
bread. I want no trouble. This is not your business, Long Pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff already knows she don't like to pay her fair share. Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
Ask why the elf owes him money.
Everyone in camp's got to contribute. For food, for protection. No exceptions. Especially not for elves. Griff's orders.
Food? Protection? I have neither.
Say this sounds like a little more than a shakedown in disguise. Roll up your sleeves. Nothing like a fistfight to clear the head.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
That makes it all the sweeter. Tell him lone wolves decide their own business.
He visibly freezes in fear, stammering a pitiful apology and backing away from you and the elf.
Ah, get out of here, will ya? Both of you ain't worth my time.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Nod back, unsmiling.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
I know where it is. Alright, we're gonna follow her. But then we're gonna come back, because right over here is lohse, and I want her in my party. She's gonna be team member number 4. And what I'll do with her is make her a summoner / hydrosophist. She will specialize in summoning. We'll max out summoning with her. She'll be able to summon a really powerful incarnate later. And then she'll basically take care of all the utility spells for the team. All the healing and all the armor restoration scrolls. And then we'll give her enough. We'll poke the remainder of her points into hydro so she can do some damage later in the game. And freeze some people. I love Sir Loria, though. He's great. Alright.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Rare is the human who goes against their own for an elf.
Say you were happy to help.
She bows.
Ask if she knows any way out of the fort.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters.
Ask how she came to Fort Joy.
It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken.
You'd like to know who's in charge here.
In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this.
She gave us a severed head.
Thank you.
Which will have a nice memory attached to it. Now there's a spear, which we're not going to use. There's a tormented soul, a skull cap, or wizard pants. I'm going to choose the wizard pants. It'd be nice to have those pants on a wizard.
Got you!
And then I'm going to take these two things and add them to my wares. Gets them off of this screen. There's some stuff to do in this cave, but I'm not concerned with doing it right now. I'm more concerned with, I just want to go back and recruit lohse. So let's do that, and then we can end this episode, and then the real fun starts. And then the way Divinity Original Sin works, the way the game plays out, is basically, when it comes to combat, you want to attack anything that's your level or lower, and anything that's above your level, you're just not ready for yet. But there are a ton of quests around Fort Joy that don't involve combat. So there's a lot of experience to be gained. Alright, let's get lohse.
An odd-looking young woman is staring intently at the statue to the divine, fingers curled rigidly at her sides. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks.
Turn away from the potential drama. Not your circus, not your monkeys, no. Gently call out to her and ask if she's alright. I like that Ifan, though. That choice is funny.
Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours, dark pupils dilated into great black voids. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Hey there, tall, dark, and glowery. What's your name? I'm Lohse. Pleased to meet you.
Tell her her name sounds familiar.
I've given a few shows around Reaper's Coast. Might be you saw a poster or a flyer. Might be you even heard about the, incident.
Tell her to go on. What incident?
Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook Hill. There was a great crowd. They were really feeling it. But I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went a bit, I don't know, wild, rabid. I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards.
Nod. They got you after your source manifested, too.
Really? Are you hospitable too?
Tell her she's going to have to elaborate.
Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front, friendly lady at the door beckoning you in for half price. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied.
Ask her who or what she was hosting a few moments ago.
Now, isn't that just the question of the hour? I can't be sure just yet. I'll be surprised if it's a demon. Definitely not a sprite either. Maybe a spectre, but I wouldn't bet money on it. So, how are you enjoying the joy?
Say it'd be all the more enjoyable if you had someone to get the lay of the land with.
Yeah? I was just thinking the same sort of thing. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that.
Sounds like a good idea.
It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve, so you'll have to pick which one I'll pull out if, when, push comes to shove. Lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, heart desires. So, what'll it be?
I need arcane arts?
Don't know if you could tell, but mysticism's kinda my speciality. Let's get into the nitty-gritty while we're at it. What sort of magic are you interested in?
Conjurer.
Sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way.
So there's Lohse. Lohse as a conjurer. She's going to get this great stuff. Conjure Incarnate and Totems. Fantastic. She has Encourage. Maddening Song is her source skill, but it'll be a while before she has the source to use it. She has the availability to pick a... We're going to have to change... She gets Thrifty, which is too bad. We can't really change that. But as far as stuff goes, there are a couple of things. I don't do a lot of stuff with her, actually. She's... When it comes to traits, as a summoner, Far Out Man is pretty good because it increases the range of her skills. I usually go all skilled up and give her one of those. And then maybe things like Living Armor and definitely Mnemonic. But Mnemonic doesn't work very well in the early game because you just don't have a lot of skills yet. So I think I'll take Far Out Man for now. And her Lore Master is 2, which is great. So that's what I wanted. Well, Lore Master. I was thinking she needs to be Lucky Charm, so I'll have to respec her into Lucky Charm later. But for right now, that'll work. Alright, I gotta end this episode. We'll stay here, but we got our team together. The band is ready to play. And from here on out, things should get much more interesting. Thanks for watching, everybody. As usual, if you like the content, subscribe to the channel. If you leave a question or comment, I will answer, and I will see you next time on Let's Play.